All right, what's up, everybody? Rev Sauce 9. Make sure to rate, like, and subscribe. Hit that bell icon for the latest and greatest that comes to my channel. Guys, donation link will be down below. If you guys want to contribute, help me out. I'm kind of needing some help to keep this going full time and whatnot. So down below in the description, I'm also going to be doing a subathon, playing some games, doing some subathon stuff over on Kick, Twitch, Trovo. I multi-stream daily. So my links are down below. All my stuff is down below, including affiliate links, things like that down below in the description. Guys, I've been very sick. I went to bed early last night because I was very fatigued, and I've been trying to get back into the swing of things. I streamed long yesterday, and everybody welcomed me back, and I appreciate it. We're going to be doing wrestling reviews, but here's the deal. If I'm not with my co-host, I'm doing short reviews. I'm not going to waste your guys' time. This one may be a little longer than the short review format that I have set for myself, but I just wanted to let you guys know I'm good. I'm back better than ever, baby. I'm excited to be back. I'm kicking ass, chewing bubblegum, all the stuff, you know. But I'm going to tell you guys this, and I know some of you are going to ask, you know, why wasn't there an AEW review? Well, I kind of did Forbidden Door kind of through my game streams, and I kind of had something up on the board, and I had a few trolls that came in and tried to fuck with me. I roasted each and every one of them. Don't worry about it. You know, it's funny, like, you know, people make fun of me all the time saying, oh, you're not a journalist. Oh, you're not this. It's like, it's funny to me. It makes me laugh. Like these trolls, it's funny. But they don't bother to look that I have all the plaques behind me for all my accomplishments in journalism and also in streaming and so forth and so on behind me. And all my plaques and all my event pictures and stuff. Like I have a board behind me of all the stuff. Like people need to notice that. Like I have all my attributes and all my trophies and shit behind me. So I find it funny when people come across my channel and want to act like idiots. It's funny. You know, so I don't pay attention to social media and things like that. I don't go balls deep into social media because it's a cancerous place. Because you got people fighting over AEW, WWE, who's right, who's wrong. By the way, Forbidden Door, I'm going to answer this real quick before we get into my Monday Night Raw review real quickly for you. I really enjoyed Forbidden Door 2024. Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland ended perfectly the way I wanted it. I liked Monet's match a lot. Britt Baker being back, great. Everything had an ebb and flow. But then you'll have those people that bitch, moan, and groan and only care about views and ratings than caring about watching a match. If you ever been at a watch party with somebody or a watch along with somebody, especially negative people, they'll turn around and all they do from hour one is bitch. Oh, well, this should be this. Oh, that should be that. Oh, well, Tony Khan. Oh, well. All they do from hour one is bitch. And when I'm in these wrestling groups, all they do is moan and groan. They can't be happy. Oh, what is Tony Khan going to do with the negotiations? Oh, what is this? Like, guys, it's going to be what it is. It's just like the Lakers stuff. It's going to be what it is. You guys got to be patient, man. We're in this age where people are just so literally impatient with anything and can't be happy for anything. It's like, you know what I mean? And when it comes to Forbidden Door, yeah, was it perfect? No. Was it 5-star match? No. Was it good? Yes. To me, it was. I watch more wrestling than the typical person, okay? And I watch New Japan, GCW, MLW. I watch all this stuff. The casual audience only watches Dynamite, maybe, and pays attention, and Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. That's not wrestling fans. If you're watching those three shows, and then you want to go and say, well, ratings are down over here and talk all this shit, you're not a wrestling fan to me. You're on a whole different level. You're on a whole different level. You're on your own little fucking island and you just fucking complain. Just to complain. And then you got wrestling channels out there that want to sit and do the same shit. Bitch, moan, and groan. And then regurgitate the same shit. It's like, okay, cool. There's no innovation in the space. It's so funny to me. I watch shows literally about AEW going, oh, it's just that. If you don't follow the storylines and you don't watch Collision and you don't watch, Rampage and you don't watch Ring of Honor, that's a you problem. You shouldn't bitch when you don't watch the product. And then they complain, oh, they have too many titles. They have to feature the titles for, So that's AEW in a nutshell right now with fans. Like, people just can't be happy. And, anything Tony Khan says at this point, people are capping and fucking AI generated shit, and it's just it's a whole mixed bag of shit, man. It's the same with Raw. Like AEW, Raw, SmackDown, and all these shows have been down. They're not been that great. To me, it's been meh. Like WWE's kind of gone a little ice cold. Yeah, Paul Heyman went through. I was gonna talk about that too. Paul Heyman went through a table. Like, look, Roman Reigns is coming back. They got to do something to bring the guy back. This opens the door for Roman Reigns to be back in his little bloodline. You know, I'm assuming by Survivor Series, by somewhere there, we are going to get the Bloodline versus Bloodline. And Jacob Fatu was brought in way too soon to me. That's a fuck up by Triple H. And Jacob Fatu should not be his bodyguard or whatever. He should be his own thing and be part of the bloodline, Roman's bloodline. So I just don't understand that. I think they pulled the trigger way too soon, but they had to put him on TV eventually. You didn't just sign the guy just to not have him on TV. It's like Hikuleo. What are they going to do with that person when they bring him in? You know what I mean? They're talking about changing Solo Sikoa's name. Like, the names they were presenting in rumors and speculation was garbage. Solo Sikoa has been garbage. They showed a package off of him putting Paul Heyman into a table and leading and doing all this stuff. He's not a leader. He's garbage. Solo Sikoa is garbage. I'm sorry to tell you that. He has 5 moves of doom. John Cena put him over. He hasn't been good. Stop it. Stop trying it. He's absolutely horrible. He's Umaga, but worse. And I love Umaga. Umaga was great. Like, Solo should have a manager doing his own thing. He ain't good. He needs somebody. He can't talk on the mic. He is trash. I'm sorry to tell you that. He has 5 moves of doom. John Cena put him over, and he hasn't been good since. WWE's trying so hard to make him look strong, and he's absolutely trash. It's just not working for me. The Bloodline's not working for me. Bron Breaker's music's not working for me. If I have to hear dun 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 dun, it's like it's trash. Now I understand why Rebel whatever that's putting the music in, they don't get royalties, so they can do fuck all. That's why the music's trash. It's been trash. Bring me back CFO money at this point. Bring me back Jim Johnson, because the music's been absolutely trash. It doesn't make me go, oh, Braun Breaker's a killer. Braun Breaker's a killer. Braun Breaker ain't a killer. Braun Breaker's doing the same thing every week, just destroying people. Can we get something different? I thought it was cool that he beat up Sami Zayn and destroyed him. Sami Zayn should be destroyed. Sami Zayn needs to lose the title. It's not working. The Rocky thing, dun 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 dun. It's over. It's boring. Stop spoon feeding him. You keep giving me the same thing every week. I don't know if Bruce Pritchard is booking this or it's Triple H. Triple H says he books out 6 months in advance. I would cut the script here and just have him lose. Now, where do you go with Sami Zayn at this point? You throw him into the Wyatt. You throw him to the Wyatt 6 at this point and just write Sami Zayn off TV, because Sami Zayn has just been bull garbage. What do you put him in another stable with fucking Kevin Owens again for the 15 billion time? Sami Zayn is not over with me anymore, and it's just, it was great at first. He should lose the title. He hasn't done anything to make that Intercontinental title feel prestigious to me. Gunther's the bar, and Sami Zayn just hasn't elevated. He's supposed to be elevating this title, and he's not elevating it. He's making it go down. Drew McIntyre, Ilya Dragunov, and Sheamus, what a match. Drew McIntyre should not even be in the Money in the Bank title picture to begin with. For the Money in the Bank, I think that should go to Jey Uso. I think that's his to win. I don't know why we have, it's predictable at this point. So you're gonna have Drew McIntyre, win the title at Money in the Bank. Is that what we're setting up for? Just to have Drew McIntyre lose it to Gunther next month at SummerSlam? I find that shit's shitty. Drew McIntyre should not be treated this way. This man signed a new contract, and you're going to have this guy just lose in a month. Or better yet, you're going to have him, we're redoing what we did. We're redoing the what should have happened at WrestleMania. Then what was the point of WrestleMania at that point? You're going to have Seth win the title, which to me on Monday Night Raw, you should have had Seth Rollins just beat Priest. I said it right then and there. Just have the breakup of the Judgment Day and just be done with the bullshit. You know what I mean? Let's just cut the Band-Aid. Let's tear the Band-Aid off at this point and let's just call it. Like, these are things with WWE that really irritate me just as much as AEW irritates me with beginning, middle, and end of things. Like, Drew McIntyre has been a fuck all. And I'm sorry. The CM Punk and him stuff, great. What are we doing? Give Drew McIntyre the title already. I'm over it. He's going to lose it anyway. I'm over it. You build this man up just to go insane, to be obsessed, and then you're going to have him just lose. Just get it over with. He's going to win Money in the Bank. That's my prediction there. And he's going to cash in on Rollins. Rollins is going to lose. Rollins is going to have it just to lose. And here we are. He's going to hold for a month just to lose. Ilya Dragunov should not be treated the way he is either. Ilya should be way further along. I thought maybe they would give Ilya the Money in the Bank. Maybe Sheamus. Sheamus is on his way out. He's just taking extra time. They're keeping him on television because, you know, injury time that he had. But Sheamus, I don't think Sheamus is going to re-sign with WWE. I really just don't feel that way. I think he'll be AEW bound. He's kind of like a Cesaro kind of deal. You know, to me, I think Sheamus, I think, you know, will finish his career out in AEW. Does Sheamus thread the needle over in AEW? Fuck no, he don't. But, you know, again, people are saying, well, they got to blow the roster. So does WWE. That's why Dijak's over at fucking AEW and possibly signing a contract. He was at Forbidden Door. I guarantee this man's going to come in and they're going to push him to the moon and back because he should have been pushed to the moon and back on fucking on WWE television. That's a drop of the ball of Triple H. Dijak was so good. Dijak Kovic or something like that when he was before he turned into like Undertaker, Super Anna villain character, whatever, with the leather jacket. He should have just kept his character that he had. I think they fucked him up when he came back, when he re-signed and came back. Triple H just brought characters back, and he has done nothing with them. You want to talk about Tony Khan? Let's talk about Triple H. For instance, Johnny Gargano, fuck that shit up. Ciampa, fuck that shit up. Ciampa should be champion. You are building this guy up in NXT to be fucking champion, and here we are. Here the fuck we are. And you've done nothing with him. You put him in DIY. DIY was winning championships and good storylines, and here you are doing shit with them. What's the difference? What? Triple H seems like, you know, he's got a chest full of characters and he just plays with his toys. Come on now. If we're going to call Tony Khan for it, we got to call Triple H for it. Ilya is already looking like he just came up and they're just having him lose. You have Bron Breakker go through him when Ilya was better than fucking Bron. I don't understand that. People were saying Ilya was pretty much Gunther 2.0, and you have him lose. It's absolutely absurd to me. Ilya should be further along. And I do not want to see Trick Williams come up to the main roster if they're going to do the same shit. I'm sorry. Carmelo Hayes has been a no-show on the main roster, too. It just blows my mind. When people turn around and tell me about AEW, you got to look at WWE, and I can point out several things with WWE that they are doing the same thing as AEW. But a lot of you are going to tell me, you know, oh, AEW. Well, WWE does the same shit. Nobody calls that shit out. You know, Sheamus, honestly, he comes back, they give him his old music, and it's fight time, and it's like they've done nothing with him. This match was predictable. Drew was going to win this. Drew's going to go to Money in the Bank. He's going to win the Money in the Bank just to basically, we're not going to waste time here because Money in the Bank is a joke. It used to mean something. It's a joke. They don't want to have a Priest 2.0 happening where he holds the Money in the Bank for like 8 to 10 months. I like Drew McIntyre winning it, but he's just going to hold the belt for a month. And then and a lot of people are just okay with that, to have Gunther come in and slaughter him. Okay. Just to lose. What, for CM Punk to come and do some hokey pokey shit in the middle of the ring again? I'm over that. Can we just, I would like to see Drew McIntyre and fucking CM Punk finally in a ring. Falls count anywhere. Let's go. You know what I mean? I want these guys to beat the shit out of each other at this point. This shit needs to be a blood feud. It needs to have 1, 2, and 3. We need to do this. This should be further along. You have CM Punk picking up people, him carrying and bleeding. Is CM Punk medically cleared at this point by WWE? What the fuck are we doing? You know what I mean? And they were at the TD Garden. Jey Uso welcomes in everybody. Great. Jey Uso should be further along. That's a guy just like LA fucking Knight that should be further along. Where's LA Knight? LA Knight hurt? Where's LA Knight? LA Knight should be also on television winning belts. I find it absurd that I haven't seen that guy enough. It's like he's MIA on my television. Ilya Dragunov and Sheamus were shown in a Cybertruck. That was kind of cool. Pat McAfee and Cole look like big dorks by doing the wave or whatever, the yeet thing, the yeet. I'm kind of, I don't mind the yeet stuff, but it gets old after a while. It's kind of like when Seth Rollins comes out and he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's getting to me. Like, I don't mind yeet, 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 but it's getting to a point now. You got to put something on Jey Uso at this point. You got to put something on main event at this point. You can't keep calling him main event. That title that they keep calling him main event, Jey Uso, you got to throw a title on him at this point. You got to you have belt him up. The crowd is over. If you're not going to put a belt on him, take the main event, Jey Uso, off of him. Take it off of him. Just take it off of him. I'm so done. And let's talk about Liv Morgan and Eddie Guerrero 2.0 over here, Mr. Dominic, Dirty Dom Mysterio. I'm over that too. Bring me Rhea Ripley at this point. It's already showing that they need Rhea Ripley on television. Because it ain't working. Liv Morgan ain't working for me. They're playing like this whole China back in the day Attitude Era shit. Dominic Mysterio has like a little mustache. I don't care enough to care. Let's just further this along at this point. Supposedly, rumor has it that Buddy Murphy's going to come alongside of her husband, is going to be alongside of her, and they're going to be a power couple, and then it's going to be Dominic getting kicked out of the Judgment Day, and Judgment Day's doing this. It's like the Judgment Day's been so wearing on me at this point. Like, I'm done with it. Just break these guys up at this point. Finn Balor should be further along. Finn Balor signed a major deal, and he has not been pushed on the main event. He's got World Heavyweight title again. I've been sick. I probably missed out on that. But to me, he doesn't need to be a tag team champion. He needs to be a World Heavyweight champion or an Intercontinental or a United States. This guy, or Speed. Do something with Finn Balor outside of giving him a World Heavyweight, World Tag Team belt. This man was your Universal Champion, and he's been squandered. This is supposed to be Triple H's guy, right? He signs a major deal. You didn't want him in AEW. You signed him for all this money, and you've done nothing. Ricochet's looking probably at the landscape, right? And this is like, well, the fuck, I'm not getting it here. I might as well go have 5-star matches and have people leave words in people's mouths. You wonder why Ricochet left, right? His capacity was going to be just a speed champion and maybe a tag team at best. Or Intercontinental here and there. Or United States. I feel bad for Ricochet because he was Prince Puma, and everybody says he doesn't have mic skills. Go back and watch Lucha Underground for me and go hear his fucking and New Japan shit. I'm so over people saying he's not on a microphone. He can't speak. Go watch his older stuff and come back and tell me. That's WWE. That's that hokey pokey shit that WWE does with their talent. See, the one thing I will tell you guys, the one thing I will say in this review of WWE, this show was decent. I'm not saying it's trash. It was decent. But I have to call out WWE for their shit as much as I have to call AEW out for their shit. And people are like going to sit here and tell me that I'm an AEW fanboy or an AEW shill. Tony Khan don't pay me shit. Triple H don't pay me shit. I would love WWE, or I'll take a check from either company. Huh. It solved my bills problem. I'll shill out for any company that pays me. Seriously, as far as wrestling goes. Be a dream come true. and for those people that say they wouldn't, fuck off. You would. You would take $1 million check from WWE or AEW. If Tony Khan said, hey, come be our interviewer, we'll pay you big bucks. You'd chill out for the company. I love how people say they wouldn't because they have ethics. You're full of shit. $1 million makes, big money makes people change real quick. Take it from somebody that got inheritance in his life, and yeah, it changed my life. And then squandered it, okay? Chad Gable. I think they're building him up really nicely. I think the Wyatt Six is perfect. You have a feud with him, and it brings in the Creed brothers. I think that's perfect there. You rebuild the Alpha Academy. You can build that up as a Survivor match if you like. Supposedly with the Wyatt Six, they're keeping a spot open in the memory of Brody Lee and Bray Wyatt. To me, bring in another member. I think you can fill that spot with another member. I think you could. You can recruit somebody from NXT, bring them in. They have plenty of talent in NXT to fill that void. They could. But I understand and respect it too at the same time, but you should bring in another member. So pretty much the smoke came out, and then during Raw, it was pretty much Bo Dallas having a reflection moment. People must pay. I kind of like it. I'm kind of digging Bo Dallas's version of the Wyatt Six, or his version of the Wyatts, or the Wyatt family. I agree that I like that. I don't mind Bo Dallas I thought Bo Dallas was great when they were the B team. I really liked Bo. I've always been a fan of Bo Dallas. I just think Bo Dallas has not had a chance, and I think this time around, him getting bigger, bulkier, I think he could be champion. I really could. World champion, sure. Undisputed, no. But world champion, sure, for sure. I'm all for it. Bo Dallas looks really good. Bo Dallas. But I like seeing when WWE brings back wrestlers and then they treat them right. You see a beginning, middle, and end. They did that with Cody, but Cody has come ice cold. I'm sorry to say this with you guys, but Cody Rhodes is ice cold. You can't tell me any different. Cody Rhodes is ice cold. He's been ice cold. The storylines that he's doing is now John Cena-esque. I guarantee Cody Rhodes won't turn heel ever again. I think he'll say like John Cena. But that's just me. Liv Morgan again comes out. Xavier Woods with Kofi Kingston defeat Karrion Kross. I actually like the Final Testament. I'm actually starting to fall in love with the Final Testament. I love the Final Testament coming out. Karrion Kross, finally they're doing something with him after it was kind of lukewarm. And they put him in NXT, brought him out of NXT. He's been beating up people kind of like Braun Breaker. And Scarlett, man, wearing the cat sexy gloves, man, I love it. She's starting to wear the old cat suits and whatnot. I'm loving it. Paul Ellering, I'm loving it. I'm loving AOP. It's just the thing is with me is there's got to be a beginning, middle, and end. You can't just build these people up like that and break Kofi Kingston's arm technically or shoulder. And then what do we do next? Then we have them just lose again. You're building them up to beat people up, right? Karrion Kross, right? But to lose. I just don't get that. But I do like the fact they're building him to look strong. I do hope it turns into maybe an Intercontinental belt, maybe a U.S. title, maybe something in NXT. You got to make Karrion Kross look good at this point. And AOP needs to win trophies at this point, championships. The New Day, I don't know. The New Day just feels like jobbers at this point. Like, they've done everything in WWE. I would really like to see Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston if they're I know they're going to be WWE for life, but I like to see them go to TNA TNA, I'm serious. Since they have a partnership, just go down to TNA and do some things. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, they've done everything on the main roster. I would like to see, maybe Xavier Woods, AJ Styles go over to TNA for a while and help build up their division. They don't need to be on television on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown for me. I think Xavier Woods is... The New Day has lost their luster to me. Ever since Big E, we don't know if he's coming back or not. It's been brutal. It's like the Dark Order. And I was watching my friend's show, and they were talking about the Dark Order, and I'm like, the Dark Order are not needle pushers. I get why they're jobbing out and losing. Same with the New Day. The New Day are not needle pushers anymore. Their time has come and gone. Their prime is done. And I'm sorry, the same with the Dark Order. The Dark Order, without Stu Grayson there, they're not the same. When they had Brody Lee, they were decent. And Stu Grayson and the other dude, Evil Uno, were great. They were the Super Smash Brothers on the indie scene. They were great. You have them here in the Dark Order, they've done nothing. I think Evil Uno's their gaming mascot guy that sells their video games and shit. Or is a video game reviewer now at this point. I don't know. With Adam Cole. Baby. The Judgment Day backstage segment, it just seems like they're brouhahaing a Judgment Day breakup, so that's that. I'm not gonna go into all of it. Liv Morgan, I'm just not a fan of it. It's Chyna and Eddie Guerrero 4.0. You have Dom looking like Eddie. And to me, Dom should not be looking like Eddie, the second coming of Eddie Guerrero. He should be doing his own thing. He's not an Eddie Guerrero. I don't like the mullet. Change this guy's gimmick. And honestly, I think Finn Balor and Liv Morgan would be a cool couple to see too. I would like to see that happen if that's the rumor and speculation that's happening, and a new Judgment Day leader is happening, and Judgment Day is changing. I'm cool with it. But again, as I said with WWE, as I say with AEW, there's got to be a beginning, middle, and fucking end here. There needs to be an end game. Selena Vega loses to Liv Morgan in a stupid fashion. Throws said chair at Dom and then gets a fucking coat breaker kind of, or a DDT type deal like fucking Randy Orton here. 1, 2, 3. The match lasted 11 minutes. It felt like a waste of my time. So they took this off of Money in the Bank this weekend. Is Triple H listening to the fans to where, we need to have short pay-per-views? To me, don't go too short with the pay-per-view. So here's my opinion about people were complaining that, AEW went too long and was putting filler matches. Again, you guys got to understand with Forbidden Door. You have 4 organizations. AEW, New Japan, Stardom, and CMLL. Different organizations, all calling their own shots. They want their own wrestlers featured. So, of course, you're going to have matches that make no sense. And in New Japan, they do that all the time. But a lot of my audience are casual. They only watch Dynamite, Raw, and SmackDown. They don't watch the indie shit. They don't watch the other shit. And then they'll sit and bitch, moan, and groan about fucking views. That's a fact. Or they'll come after me and tell me I'm a fucking shill for one of these fucking companies. And my audience does not watch TNA. They don't know what's going on between NXT and TNA, which is heating up. Because, I believe in Joe Henry. I love Joe Henry, and I'll probably buy a shirt because I'm all into Joe Henry, man. That guy should be signed with AEW or WWE. Because, I believe in Joe Henry. You speak his name, he shows up, right? And I think Josh Alexander, should sign with WWE or AEW, man. I think that would be straight fire. Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio. This was, again, people say AEW just putting matches to put matches. This was another one. Put matches to put matches. It just made no sense. Again, Seth Rollins segment with Judgment Day. Seth is going to probably win the title off of Priest. And what's his name's going to run out and cash in. And we're going to redo what happened at WrestleMania. It's predictable. And then you're going to have Drew McIntyre go in as champion to SummerSlam versus Gunther, and Gunther's going to beat him, squash his ass. Or you do a CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and then Gunther becomes his next opponent and beat him. Who knows? I just see Drew losing the title way too quick. So he's going to be a transitional champion. I mean, that's what we're doing. That's what WWE does. But when AEW does it, it's terrible, right? My audience is so like, I'm gonna say this about my community when it comes to talking wrestling, and it's not my whole community. It's I would say about 65% of you. You call AEW out for their shit, but when WWE does the same thing in front of your face, that's okay to you. I've noticed my community will give WWE a pass, but if Tony Khan does it, because Tony Khan says he has the greatest matches and it's for the psychos and all this shit, like, I just find it funny. I just find it funny how wrestling, like, my community's got amnesia half of the time. Anyway, Kaiser made a video. I don't know if he's hurt. Rumor had it that he was hurt. And he did say that, look what Kaiser did a video, basically said, basically he's going to show the world and this, that, the third. Kaiser's good shit. Kaiser cuts promos, okay? Kaiser should be further along at this point. I always liked Kaiser. I like his style. I think he's an evil villain, and I think it's great. Triple threat Money in the Bank qualifier. Zoe Stark defeats Dakota Kai and Ivy Nile. This was shocking. I thought it was going to be Dakota Kai coming in. But hey, I'm going to say this. WWE doing the right thing here. Zoe Stark should be further along. Hopefully this pushes her into maybe boosting her up a little bit. You know, I think Zoe Stark is beating people putting her over, but WWE has done nothing since. Trish Stratus put her over. You've had other wrestler talents put her over, and you have done nothing with her. This is the thing that I say. You know, people complain AEW doesn't put over talent, but WWE does the same thing at times. And then WWE gets caught in the void just as much as AEW does, where it makes no sense what they're doing with said wrestler. They'll do like this weird storyline off in Timbuktu, and then it's like, oh, and then they'll end it real quick. I talked about Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas, that was pretty cool. What they're doing with Bo Dallas is pretty cool. They're playing it safe. I like it. They're building him up. That's the way you should do it. That's one thing about WWE I do enjoy is some of the promo stuff, like look with Kaiser and I would say literally Bo Dallas. I'm loving it. If they do it in the right, the Wyatt Six is going to be fucking phenomenal if they keep up the stuff. And I did not like, and I know I've been so sick, I did not like the murder spree they did. I thought that maybe they should have just came in the ring, lights go down, and do the typical Wyatt thing and do a Sister Abigail to whoever they're going to face next. I didn't like the fact because it didn't go anywhere. And Chad Gable's using it as, oh, he's overcome a miracle. Like, it should have been Chad Gable. Like, they're doing something, and then the lights, and then boom, Bo Dallas is Uncle Howdy, and they do something cool. Something like that. Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio, I don't care. It was 10 minutes of waste of my time. It was filler. I felt some things on Raw were filler time. Like, I could switch the channel and filler. So I was rewinding through this shit because I watched it after the fact. Sami Zayn, Bron Breakker, great segment. I've not been a big fan of Bron Breakker's music or what Bron Breakker has been doing, but this needed to happen. A funeral needs to happen for Sami Zayn at this point. Sami Zayn needs to be buried 6 feet under the ground. His the whole Rocky thing, I'm over it. I get it the first time. You don't need to spend, I need to overcome. Like, I need to overcome. Like, Sammy, stop panhandling to the new generation. I need to overcome safe spaces. I need to overcome. I will beat you. Blah, 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 blah. Like, no. You need to get squashed, homie. You've holded that belt. You have not put it over. It's done. It's time for you to lose. Sammy, it's time for you to lose. Hello, Braun Breaker. You will elevate that title and destroy people. You are the next coming of Brock Lesnar incarnate. A little younger, a little shorter. I see it now. Do your thing, Braun Breaker, and just destroy Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, I'm done with, but what do you do with Sami Zayn after the fact? Take him off my television. That's what you do. Sami Zayn has not been good. It's been not working since WrestleMania for me. It's time for him to lose. It's time for the Braun train to take off and do his thing. Lift off. Let's go. Braun Breaker should be further along and give him a title. Everybody's praising him. There's articles. Triple H is a big fan. Triple H is saying that his physique and everything. Look, just build him up as the next Brock Lesnar. Put a manager in front of him. Perfect. Paul Heyman guy. Call it a day. Braun time. Let's go. Beat fucking Sami Zayn. I'm over it personally. Let's just get into it and be done. Braun Breaker speared him twice into it when he tried to do an Olivia kick, got fucking mauled. And guess what? I clapped. I got up off my chair and I fucking clapped. I wish it was Chris Jericho though. The hi guys, learning treat. I wish Braun Breaker was on AEW just to spear him. Fuck a bunch of Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho, go away. You're journeying the pay-per-view. Retire. Go away, Heat. Chris Jericho, look, you're wasting TV time. That title needs to be retired. The FTW belt needs to go, and it just shows. That was the downside of Forbidden Door. Valkyria, Damage Control. I could care less. Valkyria has kind of cooled off. So next week in Ottawa, Ontario, it'll be Jey Uso versus Chad Gable. Woo. 6-woman tag match. Woo. Damage Control versus Valkyria and Kenny Carter and Kaden Chance or Katana Chance. Who cares? Who cares? And you know what? You know what's funny is? They advertise a week before these matches. Jey Uso and Chad Gable is going to be a good match. I think it'll be a fun match. Depending on what Chad Gable's doing. If Chad Gable wins or not. Money in the Bank. Which I think these two are not going to win because it looks like that's how they're going to get Drew McIntyre to win the belt. Which I think is so stupid. I would rather have Jey Uso hold it for 6 months, go into WrestleMania and win. But that's just me. The 6-woman tag match for next week is gross. Honestly, like Kyria, I don't know. What are they doing with her, man? They should be building her up to win a title. She should be in the, I don't know if she's in the money. If she is, I think she's in the Money in the Bank. I think. Triple threat. Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Ilya Dragunov. I said that at the very beginning of this. I wasn't a fan. I thought it was a waste of my time, but beyond me. Drew McIntyre putting on CM Punk's bracelet, can care less. I can really care less. Let's just get to this 3 falls out of nowhere, last man standing, Hell in a Cell match that they're working for. Let's get this over with. I want to see them fight 3 times. I would like to see like kind of Rock Stone Cold like blood feud. I'd like to see that shit happen. Claymore kick, and pretty much 1, 2, 3. I'll put it that way. Drew McIntyre's going into Money in the Bank, ladies and gentlemen. This go home show was decent, was average to me. I'm not going to give you a rating or a review. I'm just going to tell you it was decent, it was average. A lot of it was filler for 3 hours. I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys, oh my God, this, that, and the third. But I will tell you it's typical WWE. I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised. At the end of the day, this is what WWE is doing. You know, we give so much flack to AEW, but when WWE does these repeat things or they do these one-offs or they do these stupid storylines, we give them a pass. You give WWE, technically my audience gives the WWE a fucking pass, which I find very, very disheartening to me. But when AEW does it, it's, oh my God, it's bad. Tony Khan should relinquish the writing book. Warner Discovery's not going to sign them. All this shit. And they're no better than Lakers fans right now. Lakers fans are being so impatient right now. Like, if we get to Mark DeRozan, people are going to find ways to bitch about it. If we do an awesome trade to get a bunch of players, Cara Sexton and all that, people are still going to bitch. When it comes to wrestling, either way I talk about either of these companies, I either get called a shill on one side, or I get called unbiased, or I get called. But both of these companies are just as bad. Forbidden Door wasn't a win for me either. It was literally outside of maybe 4 or 5 matches. The rest of it was filler because they have, again, you got to remember when WWE is going to do a show too, because they got to copy AEW. They're going to do an All Japan Noah, Golden Road, or whatever this other Stardom 2.0 is happening, and all this other shit. They're going to be doing big shows. Like, for instance, I know, I think it's AJ or one of them is going to be on Noah's show or something like that. So again, like I said, Triple H is doing what Triple H needs to do, and Tony Khan's doing what Tony Khan wants to do. And at the end of the fucking day, we should just enjoy wrestling. And both of these companies are copying each other. I find it funny how Triple H now is going DDT Pro Wrestling and Noah and this one over here because AEW did it. We're gonna do it better. We're gonna go work to those companies that WWE did WWE ways, and we're gonna show how AEW looks like criminals and jokes and frauds. Oh man. Like I said before, I'm just having a laugh lately because, you know, wrestling fans and people just fucking, they can't be happy. They have to talk about all these views. And by the way, if we're going to talk about views, WWE's views were down. What about that? SmackDown's views were down to the Olympic time trials. So when the Olympics start and WWE's views are down, what are we going to do? We're going to bitch, moan and groan and say, oh, WWE, man. Those Netflix, it's funny how wrestling fans are. It's funny. Anyway, my name is RevSauce9. I'm having some fun. I'm back better than ever, baby. I know this review went on for 42 minutes. Man, I said it was going to be a short review. It went longer than I expected. But hey, I had some fun talking about it. And by the way, I know there's going to be people that are going to get salty with my opinion and cry about me. That's fine. Go ahead and cry in the offside. It's cool. Go watch your little wrestling channels out there. Go watch your little wrestling channels that appeal to you. Go donate because they got to say their super chats are open when they're always open. You don't need what do you close your super chats to people? My God. Let me be real with you. These people say super chats are open and you worship them like fucking goddesses, okay? Let's just get real with that. Anyway, my name is RevSauce9. Have a mouth, have an opinion. I'm raw, I'm uncut, and I'm unbiased. And let me tell you, I watch all wrestling shows up in this bitch. And let me tell you something. We're back better than ever. I'll see you guys on the next one. I don't know if I'm going to watch NXT tonight. If I do, it'll probably be in the morning hours. And I'll have a review up for you guys. Probably early in the morning hours, depending on my stream hours. Dynamite, same thing. Like all these wrestling shows, because I have to stream and stuff like that, and I have subathons and shit like that going on, it's going to depend. Like I said, it's going to depend on how I'm feeling, where I'm at. Wrestling reviews will be out of order, you know, and stuff like that. And I'll try to put news stories between it. Like I know Shane McMahon was at Forbidden Door. I guess him and Monet were talking backstage. I know Dijak was back at Forbidden Door. Ricochet looks like he's going to be signing ink on paper eventually to AEW. There's a lot of news coming out about things that AEW is doing. AEW is retooling. And Britt Baker's back. And then we'll see Jamie Hayter. Then we'll see Rebel. And, you know, the women's division is going to get hot. Like I said, you guys got to be patient, man. Like, I love wrestling fans. But wrestling fans, sometimes, I just think they get in their own way and trip over themselves, man. I just honestly think you got to be patient. And AEW's got the injury bug. So does WWE. But anyway, I'm out skis about skis. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.